After 18 months, India is finally open for tourists again.
All right, big news for foreign tourists wanting to visit India.
In this video, I'll cover what you need to do to gain access to India, if it's safe, and what it's like on the ground here today. It has been far too long since millions of international tourists got to experience this beautiful country. We got temples, we got beaches, we got delicious dishes. If you've been wanting to get to India for many months, this is the video to watch. Did you know in 2019, almost 11 million foreign tourists enjoyed India? The average stay was 21 days. So whether you're thinking about going to the Golden Triangle, Delhi, Jaipur, Agra, whether you'd like to see the Taj Mahal, whether you'd like to sit on one of Goa's beautiful beaches, whether you'd like to row through Kerala's backwaters. All right, I think they got somebody to row for you. As of November 15th, international travelers are allowed to get a tourist visa and fly and travel in India. Most travelers, regardless of your vaccination status, can come to India and leave the airport without quarantining. Now, you do need to self-monitor for 14 days after arrival. So here are the guidelines for international arrivals. This was current on the 20th of October. I'll give you a link to double check if this is still current in the description below. Only travelers from at-risk countries who do not have an agreement with India need to quarantine, irregardless of whether you're vaccinated or unvaccinated. Travelers from at-risk countries who do have an agreement with India and are vaccinated do not need to quarantine. So unless you're one of the very few at-risk countries and you're not a Category A country, then you can come to India without quarantine and start to travel as you see fit. You will need a tourist visa though, which are now currently being granted for free. India is giving away 500,000 tourist visas. However, if you have a visa from before October 6th, your visa is still suspended, so my visa is suspended. It's not clear if the government will reinstate these visas. Hopefully they do. The max time for a tourist visa is currently 30 days as well, which could limit some travelers from longer trips. All tourists also need to fill out a self-declaration form before they travel. Here's the official website for the Air Suvidha self-declaration form. Come down here, input your information. You'll need to do this after you buy your ticket. Put in your seat number, not sure what that one is, put in your nationality, put in your passport, date of arrival, country of departure, and then you need to upload your PCR test and your vaccination certificate. Then you're good to go. Keep in mind, your COVID test should be taken 72 hours before departure. And as of the end of October, 15,000 free tourist visas have been given out. Here's how to fill out your visa. This is the official webpage to get your tourist visa. It will walk you through the process. I would say it's pretty good. It's not too hard to figure out, although it can be a bit confusing at times. You can apply online, pay the fee online, and receive your visa online, which makes it very simple. Although this service isn't currently available for tourists from China, Hong Kong, Macau, UK, or Canada. You could also get a medical visa, business visa, medical attendant visa, and more. You can see if your country is eligible by looking at this list. Over 156 countries have the option to get a tourist visa now. And to apply, you come down here and you get started. So how will these regulations impact tourism in India? Well, at this point, it doesn't seem like there's a huge rush. Only 15,000 tourist visas have been given out, like I mentioned. There's talk that the 30-day limit on the visas is limiting some travelers from coming. There's also talk that that will be lengthened as this initial rollout goes well and could start by the beginning of next year. Travelers like myself are also hoping that India will reinstate the past tourist visas. If you're liking this video, please click that like button to help it go out to more people. And while international commercial flights are technically suspended, there are many international flights going in between air bubbles. There's a flight in between Delhi and Sydney twice a week. There's a flight in between Delhi and Paris twice a week. There are also flights to other places like London, Dubai, the Maldives, and more. A big question is India safe now? and I can show you what it's like here on the ground, but let's also take a look at some of the numbers. This is a good resource to check on the current COVID status. We can see that India has given out more than 1 billion vaccinations. 30% of the population is fully vaccinated, and 70% have received at least one vaccination. COVID cases are declining in India. Masks are universally recommended, and also vaccines might be required at specific hotels or destinations. When I was in Pondicherry, one hotel required a vaccination and 2 others did not. The US State Department says that traveling to India is at a level 2, so exercise increased caution. This has been reduced since India's 3rd wave when there was many cases. So which places would be the best to visit? I would recommend going to natural beauty places or beaches. I went to Pondicherry recently, and because the beaches are big, wide open outdoor spaces, even if there were many people around, it still felt pretty safe. Before coming, you want to check out specifically the destinations you're headed to check out the COVID restrictions in those places. For instance, I'd search Delhi COVID restrictions and then see what kind of popular news articles pop up. You will want to look at each of your specific destinations carefully to see the rules and to see if it's a hot
For instance,
spot.
if you're flying into Karnataka, you might see that the state has announced fresh restrictions on travelers from the state of Maharashtra. Or if you're going to Mumbai, you could see that movie theaters are now open. You can see the cases in Delhi are very low. You can check out the COVID cases in Jaipur, which are very low at this time. And Agra as well has very few cases.
After your trip, you will need to get another COVID test to go to your next destination probably. So let me show you what it's like getting a COVID test here in India. My PCR test took 5 minutes.
You could also get a rapid test at the airport for around 4,000 rupees.
Testing at government hospitals is free, and if you go to a private lab, you could pay as little as 400 rupees and as much as 2,200 or so. You could also find someone that would come to your hotel and do the test there. The results come pretty quickly too, sometimes within 12 hours or even less. Overall, now could be a great time to visit India if you're really itching to come here, or if there are some people and family you want to see. India has so many wide open natural places that if you were to come now and stay at one of these destinations, you could be very safe. That is everything you need to know about planning a safe trip to India. Do check the links in the description. They'll give you updated information, and tune in next week for another video about this beautiful country.